Are you feeling uninspired by the usual Christmas machine embroidery designs? Well, stay tuned because today I'm going to show you how to create something truly special. The Ornamental Christmas Table Centre by Sweet Pea Machine Embroidery. Let's start by stitching corner block 2. The process is pretty straightforward and I'll guide you step by step. First, hoop up some cutaway stabilizer. This stabilizer is essential because it provides a strong base for your embroidery, ensuring your stitches stay neat and your design holds its shape. You can shop our cutaway stabilizer at swpea.com. Next, take your first piece of batting. This is batting 1 and place it on top of the hoop, completely covering the stabilizer, and stitch the batting down to secure it. After stitching, carefully remove the hoop from your machine and trim the batting close to the stitching line. Leave about 1 to 2 millimeters to avoid any bulk while still keeping the seam stable. Now it's time to stitch the place and line for the background fabric. This line shows exactly where to position your fabric, so it's crucial for accuracy. Take fabric A and place it right side up over the placement line, ensuring it covers the entire area. Stitch it down to secure it in place. Once stitched, remove the hoop from your machine and trim the fabric close to the stitching, leaving a small allowance of about 1 to 2 millimeters. Make sure to leave the extra fabric in the seam allowances. For the border, repeat this process with fabric B. Carefully position the fabric and stitch it down. And trim as before. Check the description below for the link to this month's Sew-Along Facebook group, so you can join in and stitch along with us. Now, let's add some detail. Embroider the satin stitch along the edges of the border to give it a polished and professional look. Next, stitch out the decorative stars to add that festive flair. Finally, embroider the Christmas tree and the ornament stars in the center of the block. Follow the diagram provided to get that placement just right. When you've completed all your embroidery, remove the block from the hoop and trim the seams to about 1/2 inch. Set this block aside for now and repeat the same steps for the other blocks in your table center. Now that all your blocks are ready, it's time to put them together. This is where your project really starts to come to life. Begin by laying out all your blocks on a flat surface. Arrange them to create a layout you love. Take your time here. There are so many possibilities, and it's fun to experiment with different patterns and designs. Once you've finalized your layout, we'll start by joining the blocks to create rows. Take the first 2 blocks and place them right sides together. Pin along one edge, taking care to line up the seams of the borders. A helpful tip is to match the corners first, then adjust the rest of the edge as needed. With your blocks pinned in place, take them to your sewing machine. Stitch along the edge, staying just inside the outer border stitching already on the blocks. This ensures that the seam won't be visible on the finished project. Continue adding blocks to complete the row. Then open the seam and press it flat to keep everything neat and smooth. After all the rows are done, we'll join them together to create the full table center. Place 2 rows right sides together, carefully aligning each block. Use pins to secure the edges, paying special attention to the corners and the points where blocks meet. Stitch along the edge, staying just inside the border stitching. Repeat this process for all the rows until your table center is fully assembled. Then open the seam and press it flat to keep everything neat and smooth. You're almost there. The next step is to add the backing to give your table center a finished professional look. Start by measuring your completed table center and add about 1 inch to each side to account for the seams. Cut a piece of fabric D to these dimensions. Then cut it in half lengthwise to create 2 pieces. Place these 2 pieces right sides together and pin along one long edge. stitch a 1/2 inch seam along the pinned edge. Leaving a 6-inch gap in the middle. This gap will be used to turn the table centre right side out later. Now press the seam open to keep it crisp. Next, place the assembled table centre and the backing fabric right sides together. Lightly pin them together to hold everything in place. If needed, trim the backing fabric to match the table centre top. Now stitch a 1/2 inch seam all the way around, staying just inside the border stitching for a clean finish. Once stitched, trim the edges to about a 1/4 inch and clip the corners and curves to reduce bulk. Turn the table centre right side out through the gap in the backing seam. Use a tool like a chopstick or that pink thing to gently push out the seams and corners for a sharp and professional finish. Give the entire piece a good press to ensure it lays flat. Finally, close the opening in the backing seam with hand stitching or fabric glue. For an extra polished touch, stitch in the ditch along the borders. And there you have it, folks. A stunning ornamental Christmas table centre that's perfect for celebrating the holiday season. Do you need sewing supplies? Well, visit swpea.com to shop everything you need, like our Incredi thread, stabilizers, and more festive designs to inspire your creativity. While you're there, don't forget to enter our monthly competition and share your completed projects with us. We'd love to see what you've made. Happy stitching, and I'll see you next time.